Yes, so welcome to today's session. We are going to do a recap, or we are going to go through the questions that I had shared think over the weekend, so that at least we can finalize on the topic dealing with data types. All right. So the exercise will give us an end-to-end revision, whereby at least we are going to see how to apply the different data types that we have been working on. But before then, there is something I want us to recap from the previous classes, so that at least we can also update our notebooks. Wherever we have been taking the notes, I would want to add something on top of that. All right, let me do that. And the thing that I want to add, let me do this. Okay. All right. So I just want to mention about a few things that we might have mentioned, or that were not so clear. So for now, allow me to go back to the Python console. Right. So this is in regard to how we do write strings. All right. So we mentioned that for you to at least declare a string, let me just talk about my name is equals to Dan. All right. So what I wanted to mention is about these quotations here. All right, so we can make use of single quotations as we have seen here. All right, and allow me to use print instead of creating a variable. So we can use single quotations. All right, again we can also use the double quotations that way. All right, something else we can do, actually they should be three, not two. Let me see. Right, so you can use three. Alternatively, you can, instead of having these single quotations, you can also make use of the three of them. All right, so just take note of this. You can use the single one as it is, the double one as it is. You can also use the three of them, either in this manner or in this manner. All right, so you are free to use any of those. All right, so the other thing that I wanted us to mention is about passing variables. Maybe when you want to print a string, or when you want to present, say, your data in a combination of other strings. All right, so let me show you what I mean. All right, let me repeat my name here. We have done. Right, age, let me talk about 12 years. All right, so I want to print a statement saying that, let me talk about print. Right, so do want to talk about my name is Dan. Right, so my name is Dan. I am, say, 12 years old. All right, so I wanted to show you two methods through which you can represent this data. All right, I don't want hard-coded values here because we have them defined as variables here. Right, so there are some methods that we mentioned that you can use. So I wanted to make them clear in this session. All right, so I'll do away with the hard-coded name and have that. Then I'll also come here, remove the hard-coded age and have that. Then after I close the string, then I can mention dot format. Then what should follow are the variable names followed in the order which you intend them to appear. For instance, I expect my name here, so I should have name there as defined here. Then the next section, I should define the age, then press enter. All right, so we see that the variable name, we have my name in here and my age. All right, so we had already introduced this, but it wasn't so clear on the usage. So this is how we should make use of the dot format method. All right. So the other thing is the f-string method. All right. So the way to use the f-string method, we can talk about print. Then in here, I just need to have that. Then I can just copy and paste. Alternatively, let me just copy and paste everything and edit the section that needs to be edited. Copy that, paste it there. All right. Then I do away with the dot format method. So in here, you can just talk about the variable name, which is name. Then in here, we expect the age. All right. Then remember, we need to have these f to format our statement. All right, or our strings. So if we print, we see that we get the same output as we had gotten up here. All right. Okay, perfect. So we are going to start having a review of these particular questions and exercises. I would want you to stop me whenever you feel like things are not so clear, or you require me to elaborate further. All right. So I'm going to open my VS Code. Let me share my VS Code here. So basically we are done with this. Just wanted to at least give a recap of that, and we are happy that at least we have made reach our notes by adding a few clarifications. All right. All right. So by going through this exercise, at least you should be in a position to tell whether the topics on data types you are clear with them or not. All right. So these questions are available here. We have our notebook here. So I had already mentioned that the questions should be fetched here. All right. So I'll be using this so that at least I'm able to have them on heading 1 to make them clear. So the first question requires us to create a list of 10 numbers ranging from 0 to 20, ensuring that at least 3 numbers appear more than once. All right. So the key thing about this question, just coming up with, you can either generate some random numbers or take in a range and just do your thing and ensure that you have at least 10 numbers with at least 3 numbers appearing more than once. So it's not a very tricky questions, or rather it's not a very tricky question. The only intention is to come up with a list that will be used for the other numbers here. I mean the other questions up to number 6. All right. So we should not overthink about that question. So let me just come up with x. I can just list, let me give a list 1 2 3, another 1 2 3 4. Let me repeat 4, maybe 2 times, 3 2 times, 5 6 7 8 9. I mean we can have it up to that. All right. So the intention was just to to see that you are able to create a list and at least be able to appreciate if you have repetition or otherwise. But the key thing is creating a list. All right, showing that at least 3 numbers appear more than once. So we have 3 appearing twice, we have 4 appearing twice, can also have 7 appearing twice. All right. Okay, perfect. All right. So I mean, we are done with number 1. It wasn't supposed to be so complicated. All right. So we are supposed to find the maximum and the minimum number from the list. All right. Okay. So we are basically done with number 1, and this is what we are going to use to answer the other questions. All right. So the output that we get should not or might not always be the same as what you get. If at all, your list has different numbers. All right. All right, so in here we are supposed to find the maximum and the minimum from the list. So to find the maximum, you can just have max. Let me just have max x is equals to You just pass in your list um, to the function max. All right, and in here we just print max x. All right, so let me come and execute my Python file here. Right, I just need to call python3 hello.py. All right, and we see that the max is 10. Basically, by physically looking, at least we can tell that the maximum number or the largest number in this list is 10. All right, so in a scenario whereby you are not able to tell where the maximum number is, this is what to use. Just pass in your list to the function max, and you get your maximum number listed. All right, so that's for the max. Let's go to the min. Min x is equals to, you just call the function min, pass in your the name of your list in there. So in here you can pass in this variable name here or the list itself. Both should work. All right, again we just print min x. All right, so if we come here, print, at least we can be able to tell by just physically looking that the smallest of all is 1. All right, so that is that. It wasn't supposed to be a tough question. All right, okay, then let's go to number 3. So number 3 requires us to sort the list in ascending order and descending order. All right, so this is just to try and understand what ascending order means and then descending order means. So I believe when we talk about, say, ascending order, ascending order simply means we are moving from the smallest to the largest number. All right, so once we are able to establish this, then the next is just trying to appreciate the command that should give us that. All right, so the way to do that, we're just supposed to have x dot sort. All right, and that should give us this list in an ascending order. So once we do this, the next thing we should do is just printing x, nothing much. All right, this should be question 3. All right, so let's go. Let me just run this. Right, so we see here we had tried to at least have a mix-up of some of these numbers, but then in the output we at least see that the numbers are arranged in an ascending order. All right, perfect. So the next thing, let me comment out what we have here and move to question 4. All right, so question 4. Okay, all right, so not question 4 but now in descending order. So I can just talk about question 3b. All right, so in here we are supposed to 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 order whatever list we have in a descending order, that is from the biggest or from the largest number to the smallest here. So we expect to have our list starting with 10. All right, so let me just copy and paste what you have here. All right, let me comment out that. So in here we just need to pass in reverse is equals to true. I mean, we try to sort it, yes, but then in here we just pass in reverse is equals to true. All right, then we try and execute it here and we see that it has started from 10, 9 down to 1. All right, we move to question number 5. We are supposed to remove duplicates from the list. All right, so we know we have quite a number of duplicates here. All right, that should be question number, it's number 4, not actually number 5. That should be question number 4, whereby we are supposed to remove duplicates. Let me have that question 4. All right, so removing duplicates from a list. So it's kind of we are trying to do a cleanup from this list, and we can do something here. We have a data type that we never mentioned or we never went through it, but it doesn't basically involve much. I think that's why we just left it out. So we have something that is called a set. Unlike all other data types whereby we can have duplicates. So a set can only have unique entries. All right. So the thing to remove a duplicate from a list, this is one of the methods that we can use. So we can convert this list to a set. All right. And if you remember the way we were doing the conversions, for instance, let me assign the output of whatever we are going to do to y, and we are just going to have set, and I'll pass x here, my list. All right, the variable name that I have used to name our list here. So I'll convert it to that, then I can proudly convert it back to a list. All right, then in here I can just print y. All right, so let's see if we are able to do away with these duplicates. We have 3, 3, 4, 4. So we should at least get 1, 2, 3. I mean, one entry of number 3 and one entry of number 4, and all the others one entry each. All right. So if I print hello world, see what we get. Have 1, 2, 3. So basically, the duplicates have been removed. All right. Then there is another approach to go about this. All right, we haven't gotten there yet, but we'll be there. So let me just mention it here so that once we get there, at least we are able to appreciate that we have such approach. Because again, there is an English saying that says that there are many ways of killing a rat. All right, so as long as the end goal is eliminating it, just use whichever approach that you deem fit. All right, so in this case we have converted this to a set, then converted it back to a list. By converting it to a set, all the duplicates were ignored, or rather it removed the duplicates and only remained with the unique values. Then whatever output that was converted back to a list and assigned to a variable name named y. All right, so the approach 2, we can give it another approach. All right, and all right, don't worry, if you have any question just ask, but for now just allow me to mention it as an overview. We are going to cover the topics revolving around this in our future topics. So in here I can just have we haven't assigned anything to y, so let me just have y as an empty list. All right, then I want to do a for loop in x. So basically what a for loop does is that it goes through the elements of the given list one by one. All right, so it's us to give the instruction on what we want the loop to do. All right, so let me show you how to give these instructions. So we are going to talk about for I in x. All right, so for each entry in x, all right, we are going to do like we want to check. All right, so we want to check if, all right, so if this I not in y, we have defined an empty list here, and what we want to do, like think of it manually like this. Let me bring my x here so that at least we can be able to visualize what we want to do. I mean, we have say a bowl full of marbles. All right, and we are trying to sort out the unique ones. So I take the first marble, and if it's unique I put it in the second bowl. All right, so I take the second one, check if it exists in the second bowl, and if it's not there I put it in. All right, then we come to number 3. I mean, we have marble number 3 and we see there are 2. All right, we have two entries of number 3. So I take the first one, check on that entry here. If it's not there, I put it. All right, then when I come to this other entry, I'll try to check in this second ball. And because 3 exists, I skip that and move to the next. So that is basically what we want to do with code. All right, so we want to check for I in X. All right, if I and I is 1, 2, 3, these entries here. So if I is not here, that is if I not in Y, all right, so we have to use some English here. So if I not in Y, then what we should do, we should talk about Y dot append I. All right, so we should have, or we would have passed in an else statement, but because we just have two scenarios whereby it can either be there or not. So if it's not, then we are not going to append anything. All right, then we are done with that. So in here we can just come in and print Y. All right, so we expect that Y should only contain the unique elements without any repetition. Let's do that. All right, and we see that has also happened. And I mean, if we were to print X alongside Y, let me just print X here so that at least we can see what's happening. Clear the screen and redo that. All right, so see, X has its duplicates in here. We have 3 appearing twice, 4 appearing twice, but look at what we have here. We have that. We have all unique values. So this is another approach that you can give it. All right, let's comment that out. We are going to see to come to this section talking about loops, the if and else statements and all that. Maybe once we get to that point, then you can come back to this question and try to give it that approach. So basically, y dot append, we are trying to append something to a list. I think we missed out on mentioning this when we were talking about a list. All right. So let me just bring my console here. Right. So imagining we have a list there, a list, an empty list, an empty list. All right. So as a way of adding elements to this list, you can just talk about y dot append and then just talk about a number or whatever element that you want to add. So if we were to print y, we see that 2 is there. We can also append it again, print it, right? Then we can also add something else. If we print, you see we are kind of adding those elements without like manually editing this list. Let's look at the next question here. So we have been able to remove duplicates from the list. So number 5 here, we are supposed to write a program to merge two lists without duplicates. All right. All right. So this is question number 5. All right, question number 5. Right, so so let me just come up with something else. We have a, it's a list, say 1, 2, 3. Let me repeat 3, 4. All right, you have B here that has say 6, 6, 7, 8. All right, so we are supposed to add these to list. All right, and ensure that the resulting list doesn't have duplicates. All right, so for instance, let me just print a, rather let me just print a combination of these two lists here. Right, so if we do that, we see we have a list and the list has duplicates in here. Right, so my approach here would be, remember we said that if you want to remove list, let's use this approach here. Right, we convert each to a set, then back to a list and add the two. Right, so we can simply have set, let me just start with the list, then let's have set a. All right, then let me come here, start with the list, then set B. All right. So we expect that by printing what we have here, we don't expect to see duplicates. All right. Let's move back, print that, and we see that duplicates have been done away with. All right. So even if the duplicates were here, for instance, I can also have 1, 2 here, and they are still in here. Let's see. Let's see what will happen by this. That's a scenario I had not thought about. Right. Right. So in here we have duplicates. All right. So another way, to strengthen our application, we can then pass in. Let me see. We can then convert this to a list again because we know we are also converting it to a set. All right. We are into some recursive conversion of list, set, and all that. All right. And we see we have been able to achieve that. Well, this is my approach. There could be some easier approach out there. Check it and choose the best. Sometimes the approach that we work with, sometimes we try to reduce the number of lines of code that we write so that at least the code is also maintainable. Again, if you have a clear way or a more easier way of doing it, maybe we can also adopt that, but this would be my approach. All right. Initially, we would have just used what was there, but we have seen that in a case whereby whatever is in A is also in B, then our conversion did not work 100%. So we had to try and introduce some new scenarios to see if we can harden our application. All right. All right. So that's number 5. Hope we are getting it right. Write a program to match to list without duplicates. All right. Then number 6, another interesting one here. Question number 6. And should you have any question, just be sure to stop me. All right. So number 6. So this is taking you back to some basic maths, or I think some high school mathematics, but by then we were using calculator. So for now we are supposed to write a program that gives us whatever we have here. All right. So many other times when you are presented with a challenge, you try to think of how other people might have thought about it. All right. Then once you come up or think of something somebody else did to make a process easier, you can use their own. All right. So there are some scenarios you may find that there is no function, there is no module that has ever been defined. So it's for you to define a method or a function that will help you achieve your goal. So in this case, we are supposed to find mean, median, and mode. Then think of it like you're supposed to find the mean. If I remember well, you're supposed to find the sum of all the elements that we have, then divide with the length. All right? We get the sum, divide with the length of, or rather the number of those entries. But we wouldn't want to go that way because somebody sat down and came up with an approach that we should use to simplify our work. All right. Right. So, for instance, let us just think of the mean for this number using the traditional way. All right, the traditional way where we can just say, let me print. All right, let me talk about mean. All right, so I'll talk about the sum. I add everything, sum of x, then I should divide with the length of x. I believe that's the approach we were giving it. I'm not so sure, but I just believe. Let me then print x. All right, so this could be the mean. Oh, okay, sorry. All right, thank you for that. Just wondering why it's returning the list. Thank you. Right, so we kind of get the mean to be 5.307. All right. All right, but this is not the best approach. I'm just trying to devise a way or to make us think around how we approach the different problems that comes our way. So this is one of the method I believe we can use to find the mean. Of course, we have the mean, median, and all the others. So if I'm not able to devise my own way, actually, we should not start by devising our own way, but to make it fun, if you have your own way of doing it, please do it. All right, so in here, we are going to talk about something else that will help us achieve the mean, mode, and median. So there is a module called statistics. All right, so import, let me talk about statistics. All right, so to find the mean, can't just talk about statistics. If we do a dot, we should see the methods that the statistics module supports. So in this case, we are just interested with the mean, all right? And we want to find the mean of x. So let me just come in here. Let me just print this. Instead of assigning it to another variable, let me just print it here. So I run my program here and we see we get exactly the same thing. So I believe this is way better anyway, instead of talking about sum. And so both works, but because somebody else devised a better way of doing it, we can make use of this module. All right. So that's for the mean. Then mode. What does mode mean? Think mode is that number that kind of occurs say many times, if I can remember. If I'm wrong, please remind me. I think it has been a while. So when we talk about the mode, right, so let's talk about statistics dot mode. All right, so our x here has two occurrences of 4 and two occurrences of number 3. So let's see. Let's pass in our list here. See what happens. So let me just print this. Let's print. All right. Let me comment out this and then come back here and print. All right. So that might not be correct. That might not be correct. So this is just a disclaimer because, all right, let me try to introduce something simple here. Let me have x having maybe, let me have uh, two, okay. All right, let me have 2, 3, and 4. Let's see what this one does to us, if it's fair enough. All right, so see, it tells us that the mode is 2. Okay, but basically all these numbers occurs one time, so that might not be so accurate. All right, so let me have another 2, or rather let me have another 3. All right, so let me have that. At least we see for once we get something that makes some sense. Let me have 4 again. All right, let me do that again. It's not able to give us all the occurrences of the mode. So instead of using mode as it is, let me see. I think we should have something like multi-mode. Let's pass in our x in here and also cross that for the purpose of printing it. Let's do that. All right. So we see it's able to spot the 3 and 4. All right. So let us confuse our system by just that, something that doesn't have a mode. At least it should give us everything, all right, because all these occurs on equal measure. We have 2 occurring once, 3 occurring once, and 4 occurring once. So I don't want to go so much into statistics, whereby we are supposed to tell if no number occurs more than once, we say that there is no mode. I don't want to give that judgment, but this is the best approach to give it. All right. So if you are dealing with a program that requires to check for the mode, I would recommend that you use multi-mode, because as you have seen, it's more accurate than using mode. All right, so the other one is the median. Median, right? So the median is the number in between, right? So when all the numbers, I believe, are ordered in, say, an ascending order, the number that falls in between. So if these two numbers, or rather, if we don't have, for instance, if we talk about a number, for instance, a number like this, or a list like this, at least for the median, we expect it to have 3, right? So let's print that. Let, let us print that statistics dot median. Median, then we pass in x. All right. All right. So we find that x is 3. So how about if we have 5? What's the median? So should take the mean of 3 and 4. Right. So that gives us 3.5. All right. So that's for whoever is to get into data science and all that. At least you can explore more on that. We have quite a number of methods in that, right? All right. All right. Then we are done with that. Let's go to tuple manipulations. Let's now move to working with a tuple. That has been quite an engaging journey on working with list. All right. So let me comment out what we have here. Okay. All right. So, okay. All right. So in here, we are supposed to talk about tuples. All right. All right. So we are expected to create a tuple with at least 5 elements. So remember, we said that, so in this case, the question might not be so clear, but at least in this case, let me see, because we are open to creating a tuple that has all sorts of data type, but we are a bit biased. We are dealing with numbers. Let's continue with our biasness, but the goal is at least acknowledge that a tuple uses these parentheses. All right. So let me just use a very simple tuple here. I'm hoping that it's not so biased, depending with the questions that we have down here. So just create any tuple, assign it to a variable, and that is it. If you are required to print it, you can always print y, or whatever variable name that you give it. All right, so convert the tuple to a list, add a new element. All right, so okay. So to convert this to a list, okay. So maybe to add a new element, we can talk about. Let me talk about y new. I mean, and have that as another list. Maybe I can have two. Let me have a number that is not here and a big one for this case. All right, just have 20. I want to add 20 to that list. All right, so I'm supposed to convert the tuple to a list and add a new element. So okay, my new, or rather my new tuple, am I supposed to convert it back to a tuple? Not. Convert the tuple into a list. So to convert this tuple to a list, we just pass in our tuple to the function list. All right. Then add a new element. Again, to add a new element to our list, we just add new. I mean, we can just do that. We have assigned a new list here with a single entry. So we just do that. And I think we should just print that. Should comfortably print this. All right, let's do that. So initially we had 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 5, 7, 8, 9, but now we have our 20 added here. Again, this is a list. If we were required to convert it back to a tuple, we simply pass it. Let me talk about a tuple. Right? I mean, just pass it into a tuple like that. Then let's print it. Nothing much. Right? And here we go. Well, the question was not okay. Convert the modified. All right. Okay. Actually, we have then answered number 3. So we have created a tuple, at least 5 elements. Actually, I didn't check if we had 5 elements. All right. Then we converted the tuple to a list by this part here, list y. Then we added a new element, that is the y new, right? Then converted it back to a tuple. All right, so write a program to check if a given element exists in a tuple. All right, so in here I can simply make use of new tuple. Let me mention it that way. All right, so we just at least assigned our new tuple to something, so that again we can use that new tuple to check, to write a program to check if a given element exists in a tuple. All right, so the way to check, remember, if you remember, we had already covered this area whereby we want to check, for instance, we want to check if number 2 is in the new tuple. So we can simply talk of 2 in new tuple. All right, so this is a syntax, how do we say it? A syntactically correct command in Python. 2 in new tuple. So basically this will return true or false. So to get an output, we can simply print. All right. So 2 is in new tuple. So let me have 200 here, or 2000, just any number. Check. It's false, so it's not there. So sometimes we do check and make a decision out of the output. All right, so when going about if statement and all that, we could check if for instance we could check if 200 is in the new tuple. If it's not there, we add it. All right, so keep that in mind. It will be part of an assignment that we will do, right? Like we check, if it's not there, we add it. If it's there, we don't do anything, or depending with the instruction that we give. All right, then count how many times an element appears in a tuple. All right, so we want to check, kind of count how many times an element appears in a tuple. So let me comment out this. All right, so for instance, let me check how many times 2, this number 2 exists on a tuple. So I'll just talk about new tuple dot count. All right, and what are we counting? We are counting the entry number 2. So let me print what we have here. All right, so let me clear the screen and do that. So 2 appears 1 time. Let me add some more 2's. All right, okay, let me add 3. If we do that, we get 3 of them. All right, so that's simply how to count the number of elements, or the number of times that element appears in the tuple. So let's now move to dictionary. It's another interesting thing that we talked about. Then we'll finish with string processing. All right, so we have been given a dictionary here. We have a dictionary here. We are going to see a number of operations that we can do with our dictionary, right? Okay, right. So we have been given a dictionary there. So even before we start handling dictionaries, at least you should be in a position to create a simple dictionary based on either a given scenario, or you creating a scenario for yourself. All right. So we are supposed to add a new key value pair to our dictionary. All right. So remember how we talked about it. So we have students. So this is how to add a new entry. Then we are supposed to add in city. All right. Then should talk of New York equals New York. As simple as that. If we print a student here, let me clear this. If we print student, we should be able to see city. So just a further elaboration of what we have here. So what happens when you do this? So it will check, this simple program here will check if city exists in here. If the key city exists, then it updates it to this new value. Then if this key does not exist, it adds the new entry. So it will add this key with this value. So two things might happen with this. So if it exists, it updates it to what we have here. If it doesn't exist, then it will create a new entry. All right. Hope that's understood. All right. Then we have update age key by increasing its value by 1. All right. So this one. All right. So let me just comment that out. All right. So we are supposed to talk about student. Have that. Talk about age. Then age. Okay, age. So we are supposed to increase it by 1. So this is one of the methods of updating. All right, even before we think of updating it to 1, this is one of the methods. All right, so we are not currently age is 20. So do we just talk about is equals to 21? I don't think that is what is expected of us, because this is kind of hard coding. We're not supposed to hard code of values here. So the intention of this question is for us to be able to at least do this dynamically. So let's try if this one works. So let me talk about age. So by doing this, we expect to get 20. All right, then we can simply do a +1 there. Let's see if we get it right. Age. All right, we get our age as 21. All right, so you shouldn't think of, just adding 1 here, and this number might be too big. So this should be the case, the use case. All right, so that's one of the ways to approach that. The other way is kind of talking about student.update. Remember, we're supposed to do this, and whatever thing you are updating should be updated in here. All right, so the age, let me just, for instance, for now, just do this manually. Let's see how this one goes. All right, so we see that it's updating. So let's have something here. I want to make this a dynamic, because we can't just add 1 here, because the question required us to add 1 and do it this way. This is not acceptable, right? So let's try to talk about the new age, where we kind of talk about student, then we have age +1, right? Then let's try to have this variable here, right? New age, all right, back here, all right, and there we go. So just devise a way of making things work. All right, so whenever you get an error, don't panic. In most of these cases, you have the chance to kind of refer to your documentation and all that. We have blogs with all these pieces of information. The key thing is to appreciate that something exists. First thing, at least acknowledge that you are able to update some keys in a dictionary. Then from that, devise the method that you are going to use to achieve that. If you haven't mastered it yet, at least you can now refer to whatever documentation that you have. All right, so that's the way to approach that. All right, then we are supposed to remove the grade from the dictionary. All right, so if you remember, there was something that we talked about. Let me show you here. All right, so let me comment out this one here. Then down here, so we have our student here. So let's just talk about delete, and we are deleting from student, and from student we want to delete the, is it the grade? Exactly, the grade. So let's print our new dictionary. So if we look at what we have here, we don't have the grade. So this is what to use in such a case. All right, so that is it for working with dictionaries. All right, so let's now move to complete looking at the string methods. We see how to process strings. All right, so we have a task here whereby we are supposed to take a string as input and print it. All right, so we have been doing this when practicing on strings. So take a string as input. So let me comment out this and just talk about string processing. This is task 4. All right, so let me comment out that. All right, so the string. Let me talk about hello. I just want to say some hello greetings, to give some hello greetings. So I need to input, all right, uh, greetings. All right, all right. Then we should print those greetings in here. All right, so let me just run that program. Let me talk about hello there, and we get the output of that. It's not hard. That should be simple, a simple one. So in this case, as opposed to the other time where we used maybe to convert integers or float numbers that come in, maybe we wanted to do some arithmetics down here. We are not converting anything when it comes to strings. All right, so we work with it as it is. So take a string as input and print it. We just did that. Then print it in a reverse order. All right, so to just maybe to reduce the number of times we keep on inputting strings, let me just have my string here instead of every time having to input that. So we should print this in a reverse order. All right, do we have that method? All right, so I think let me see if this one can work for us. So basically reversing, we reverse it from letter by letter. So let me see what we get by the output of this. Okay, I think. All right, so basically to reverse this string, we can do it this way. We're basically reversing letter by letter. All right, so this is basically the way to approach this question here. Print it in reverse order. So this is the reverse of it. I'm not sure if we have any use case of this, but just for your own practice, that's how to reverse character by character. Maybe as part of your assignment, you can see or check how to reverse like word by word. I mean, for now we have reversed everything, starting from the very last letter that we have here, E, R, or to all the way to H. So as part of your assignment, you can just try checking how you can simply reverse and start with there, hello. I mean, the word there should be as it is, then hello. Right? Just try and see if there is an approach that can be given to that. Then we can convert that string to uppercase and lowercase. All right. Okay, lowercase, uppercase. So we can simply have this. Remember, we mentioned about it in the last session. So in here, we can simply convert our strings to uppercase by simply doing that. If we do that, we get that as an uppercase. Again, if you want to convert it to lowercase, Okay, let me just copy what we have here. And okay, sorry. Let me just copy this to what we have here, assuming this is what we have, uppercase. For now, we want to have it in lowercase. We just pass in that. Nothing much, should be a simple one. And there we go. All right. And I also believe we can pass something else here called title. All right. Let us see what title does. All right. So it kind of capitalizes each and every, each and every letter in each word. All right. So see, we have capital H and capital T. The others are all lowercase. So you can also do that. This happens when maybe you have received some user input and you want to save into your database, like characters that are in a uniform character. All right, to avoid saving some in uppercase, lowercase, title case, and all that. So you can receive the input as it is, then do a conversion. All right, then remove all spaces from the string. Right, so another interesting thing to do. Um, so we want to do hello dot, we can replace. All right, so to replace, let me see, let's do a test. So I'm assuming we want to replace all spaces if we have them, and we want to replace them by re remove all spaces from the string. So all spaces, then we replace them by no space. I hope that makes sense. All right, we are trying to kind of replace whenever there is some space with no space. Let's see if this one works for us. All right, so we see our hello there is now uh, printed as one word. All right, so that is it. That's how to go about this. Let me show you another use case. I think this should be the question that follows, where we are supposed to replace at least one occurrence of, or rather all occurrences of some string with another one. So since our string doesn't have Python or Java or anything, we can simply try to identify any string and replace its occurrence with a string of choice, right? So there is a typo there, no issues. So in here we have hello there. So we can try to kind of replace hello there by hi there, So this is simply how to do it. We can simply talk about hello dot replace, and what are we replacing? We are replacing hello by hi. All right. So let's print what we have here. All right. So we expect to see hi there, or at least let's see. All right. So that's simply how to do it. And in case let me talk about hello there, maybe two times. So it should replace all occurrences of hello to with hi. That again can be a method that can be used to do data cleaning. Maybe you want to replace some certain characters with whatever you want to work with. That is it. That is it for working with string, that is string processing, dictionary manipulation, tuple manipulation, and list operations. Right? So I think we are done with the practice questions. Now the ball is on your side to look for more questions, more challenges. Try to give them your best until you now feel fit when it comes to dealing with data types.